Facebook. Hello, Facebook friends and family, and hello, those coming into our Zoom room. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is our Secret Sunday show on Sunday, April 25th. And I have a really wonderful guest who I'm actually looking forward to getting to know. This is Dr. Ruth Anderson, and I'm going to put the spotlight on her while I just kind of share a little bit about her. She's an award-winning author, and she's the founder of the Enlightened World, or as you see behind her, the Enlightened World Network. And she's been carrying our shows, and we're going to learn all about both her and the Enlightened World Network. And we're going to talk about what enlightenment even means. A little bit more about her. She believes that light workers, that's you, all of you who are watching and listening, you hear my voice? You're a light worker. And she believes that often you might be isolated and distracted and not even sharing your full gifts. Ruth was inspired to create the Enlightened World Online and Enlightened World Network to serve in supporting lightworkers in building their professional visibility so you can get back to sharing your lightworking talents with the world. Now, this is a time that the world desperately needs all of you to be doing this. And so it's awesome that we've got Ruth helping us to do so. So, Ruth, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And that's great wisdom. So, welcome.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
So, I've asked Ruth very spontaneously, like about a minute ago, if she'd be willing to lead a meditation to help us just drop in. And I want to acknowledge that most of the people that watch this show watch the replay. But whether you're watching us live or watching the replay, stop what you're doing, take your phone, put it down on the other side, turn off the devices, and let's just drop in together as Ruth leads us into meditation.
So I encourage you to just get comfortable in your chair, just settle in, feel it supporting your weight. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths in. Let's take one nice and slow and let it out nice and slow. And this time, as you breathe in slowly, feel your heart space expanding with that breath. Take it in. Feel that expansion and release. And this time, let's feel our third eye greatly expand as we breathe in, nice and slow. In and release it. And with this last breath, let's feel our crown chakra open and expand. Take it in and release it. And as we feel our bodies, our minds, our hearts slow down to this place of quiet, comfort, and solitude in oneness. I love that. I'd like to invite in Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, the Creator, and the Christ consciousness. And we'll just set that space of sitting here with the divine. Let's just feel into that energy for just a moment. And as we sit here together, with the divine, we can look around to our neighbors and see that we really are nothing but divine love. All of us have that same spark of divine white, divine love, and really that's all we are. We are one with the Creator. We are one with the archangels. We are one with the Christ consciousness and Divine Mother. We're one with each other. Whatever impacts one of us impacts all of us. And so it is. Thank you.
Mm. Well, thank you, Ruth. What a sweet space to be in. It's hard to like open the eyes and kind of even after that. Thank you. I want to welcome our friends that are with us, Jay, Lorna, Maggie, Margie, TB, in our Zoom room, and those of you watching on Facebook. And again, somebody mentioned that your sound is a little bit low, so if you can adjust your microphone, that'd be great.
Now get closer.
Get a little closer, plus soft meditation. So let's start right off. I always enjoy hearing a person's personal story. And I'm wondering if you are wanting to support other light workers because maybe you found yourself wanting to bring your talents out more fully. Is that kind of how it all started for you?
First, I've been asked to share a little story with you. In meditation, I was taken out to this space between lifetimes, between times, before souls even come into the planet. And I was shown this room. I was with Archangel Raphael, and I was shown this room where there was just souls that hadn't come into the world yet. And some of them were just white, just human, and some of them had angel tendencies, angel parts sounds so wrong. Angel tendencies to them, and others had otherworldly tendencies to them, and some were a combination of all of them. And I asked to see mine. And what I saw with mine was yes, it's got the human component, but it also has a piece of angelic component. And it also has a piece of otherworldly component. And I was a little shocked to see that. I have to be honest with you. I really wasn't expecting that. But I embraced it as my own. I don't even really know what it all means at this point yet, but I embraced it as my own. And then I looked back at my lifetime and I see that I had been kind of sheltered, and I think it's on purpose. I'd been sheltered against, I'm 60. Keep that in mind, Scott. I know you're close in age to me, and people who are 60 often have this whole plethora of life activities. I didn't have all those. And I think I wasn't supposed to have all of those. And I think it's so I can be at this place now of standing in pure divinity. I don't know. I sort of don't have words for all of that. But all of my life, I felt very connected to spirit and intuitive, but didn't have words for it. And it wasn't until I was in my 50s that I started really understanding my connection, my oneness with spirit. I hadn't met any archangels until then. I hadn't sat with anybody who had passed. I hadn't spoken to anybody who had passed. Um, I just, I was so limited in my life experiences where it came to working and understanding energy. And this last 10 years has been just an explosion of walking with spirit, listening to spirit, doing what spirit is asking me to do, including the creation of Enlightened World Network that I had zero intention of creating. So it's been a 60-year journey, and I know I'm not done. I figure I've maybe got 30 more years to get the rest of the work in that I think I'm supposed to be doing here.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that's a very interesting start. By the way, as far as how much time we have, of course, none of us really know, but there's a really interesting book called age wave. And you and I are right in the middle of the baby boom generation. We're boomers. And the baby boom generation changes everything as it moves through it. Um, and according to this book, Age Wave, most of us have a very good chance of living well over 100, being physically active well over 100. And many of us will actually hit our 120s.
Wow.
Um, there is a big poster banner that Kaiser Permanente put up that said the first American to live to 150 is already alive. And so it's important for us as we're thinking. When I had my 60th birthday, I said, okay, I'm marking this is my halfway point. Um, so I just invite you. And I know Jay Mayer is with us, and we'll probably bring Jay on, have him do a little light touch. Jay is almost 70, and he's, peaking. He's, reaching more people than ever before now. So, and it sounds similar. It sounds like the first half of your life was um, just learning how to be in a human body and in appreciation. And you've maintained a lot of your purity, a lot of innocence.
Mhm.
Because quite often, as people get older, there is a cynicism, there's a skepticism, the disillusionments pile up, the disappointments pile up. And, a child is in like childlike wonder, right? Whereas often as people get older, they become more cynical or skeptical. So I'm appreciating your childlike wonder while still being at your age. That's quite beautiful.
Well, and I think that that's part of that angelic piece that comes in. I just think, and it's so fascinating, Scott, because normally if somebody asks me my story, this is not what I tell them. But this morning, as I was sitting in meditation, I thought, okay, I think this question's going to come up. And what I heard was, don't share what you always share. Go deeper, go broader. And they told me to share that story of what I had seen in meditation. So there we go. Do with it what you will.
One of our Facebook friends, who's actually a wonderful musician, Fanny Starchild writes, she is stunning in her light. Good morning, Sacred Sunday. We are here now. So you are stunning in your light to Fanny, and I'm
Thank
sure
you.
to others as well. And definitely want to invite people in our Zoom room, people on Facebook. Give us some thoughts, give us some comments. I want this to be an interactive conversation. What does enlightenment mean to you? Is enlightenment possible? Are you experiencing enlightenment? How do we become more enlightened? How do we, as light workers, as earth angels who have come here to help with this incredible time of planetary transformation, how do we support each other? And that's, of course, very much what my work and my shows are all about.
Right. So the term enlightened world came to me from Archangel Michael. I didn't come up with any of this, frankly. So to me, enlightenment, it's every single moment of every single day. We have the opportunity to respond how we want to respond. We can either make somebody's day better or make somebody's day worse. It is completely up to us. And to me, being enlightened is really just sticking with your soul, sticking with your heart as much as you possibly can. I don't think I had a great conversation with Terry Angel this morning. I know we were talking about Terry Angel last night. We do a live guided meditation every single day on Enlightened World Network. And Sundays and Wednesdays, Terry and I do it together. This morning we were talking about a soul's calling, a person's lifetime and a soul's calling. And we were having the conversation when we say, oh, he didn't live up to his potential, right? I think we're using judgment on that. And I don't know that that's ours to judge. So when we talk about enlightenment and thinking, what does enlightenment mean for me? That's going to be very different than what enlightenment means for somebody else. But for me, enlightenment is walking, for me, it's walking with spirit and it's being in alignment with my own soul and my own soul's purpose, my own soul's calling. So I could never say, "Oh, so and so's not walking in alignment." That is absolutely not my call. That's just it's an internal thing that everybody would come up with.
I'm getting some comments that are coming in here, so that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And Diana writes, 120 years old, good luck. And then she says, yes, you have a great attitude, Ruth, and you have many miles to go. So thank you, Diane, for that comment. Um, I have a couple of thoughts about the whole enlightenment thing. But before I do that, I want to talk about, you made an interesting comment. You said, well, I haven't done anything. It was all channeled from Archangel Michael. And that's an interesting perception when clearly, and I've had amazing channeling experiences. And in my reality, I wrote a movie that I made and I wrote it in one day and it was channeled. I worked with an amazing channel on Friday night, Tara Lanka channels Bashar. But here's an interesting perspective. Um, One of my favorite authors is Richard Bach. He wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Illusions, and I've had the good fortune to meet almost every author that I admire, including Richard Bach.
Cool.
And we had a really interesting conversation about this. And he shared that when he in his world at the time did not write Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He literally, this seagull that would come and land on his thing, he channeled it from the seagull. And he sends it off to a publisher, and the next thing he knows, he's a millionaire. He's got all this money coming in because it was such an incredible hit. And he didn't feel like he deserved any of it because he didn't write it. He didn't do it. It, came through, And so he kind of blew through the money and had trouble receiving it. And finally, he went to see Jane Roberts, who was also a channel. She channeled a being named Seth, and there were many wonderful books written by Jane Roberts channeling Seth. Very popular back in the 60s and 70s. She was kind of like the Lotharius of her time, if you will. So he goes to see Seth and Jane Roberts. And Seth kind of sets him straight and said, well, yes, on one hand, you could say that everything is channeled because there's only one consciousness expressing itself. But it did take you as a human being to take the time to sit down, listen to the bird, trust the bird, remember, put it into writing, put it into a format, put it through your filter, and put it into a form that has reached millions of people.
Right.
And to deny your role is is to deny divinity itself. Never deny yourself and the role you play in bringing forward anything, any creative expression. So I just invite you with that as well, because that made a big impression on me, obviously, because I had that conversation with him a long time ago. And it's something important for us all to remember. Obviously, not to go off on a big ego trip, but to also honor and appreciate, what we do, you know?
Yep. I love that. Thank you.
And how does that, what does that bring up for you? Like, what are some of your thoughts and responses?
I absolutely agree with that. And I know that sometimes we'll get ideas, and if we don't act on it, somebody else gets the same idea and somebody else will act on it. So, yes, I do know that my being here in body and my spending the time and doing the commitment and the energy and the outreach and all of that was absolutely critical to this coming into play at this time. So yes, I do get that. Yeah.
Beautiful. So here's a thought about enlightenment. I was married. My wife passed away. And that's actually going to be a little bit connected to this story. My wife was obsessed with getting enlightened.
Hmm.
I mean, it was her thing. She loved India. She went to India about 20 times in her life. She would, work in California and then go live in India for 6 months. And she had a guru and really was into it. And as the years went by, she became increasingly disappointed that she wasn't enlightened.
Hmm.
And uh, while we were together, there was a new significant teacher that came along who promised enlightenment. And so she went to India and did the everything she was supposed to do. And the guru promised her enlightenment. And actually, I was with her. He promised us both enlightenment. And he actually gave us the dates we were going to get enlightened.
Wow.
Now, I do not perceive, I've never perceived that I'm going to become enlightened in this lifetime. Um, and I've met a lot of supposedly enlightened people, and they have enlightened moments, but aren't behind the scenes always so enlightened.
Sure.
Um, so I didn't really take it too seriously. I just kind of thought it was amusing, but my wife was so disappointed when it didn't happen. And and honestly, I think one of the reasons that she left her body at a very early age, she died when she was 52, um, was because she couldn't find it here. And so she went back into the oneness, back into, and she would have had a lot of communication since after she passed. Um, and what I've come to both in my observation of life and my communication with her is that we here in the human realm, we have ever increasing enlightened moments.
Mhm.
But the fantasy that we're going to get tapped on the head or be with the right guru or take the right drug or have the right meditation and the light's going to go on and the light's going to stay on all the time is a wonderful fantasy. And it kind of goes right there with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. They're really wonderful stories and they're wonderful fantasies, but it's not something that's, it's certainly, if it does happen, it's so extraordinarily, extremely rare. And I've been in the spiritual world for a long time. I've interviewed almost really every major author, spiritual teacher, and I've yet to sit with someone who is fully enlightened all the time. But
I Go ahead.
that's the last thing I'll say, last thing. And then I definitely want to hear what you have to say about this. So
Mhm.
I don't need to dominate here. What is true is that as we mature, we learn how to be present what is without judging it, needing to change it. And sometimes we're present to suffering. Sometimes we're present to discomfort. And again, I mention that because that's it's actually an enlightened moment when we're fully present to suffering. Whereas often people think enlightenment means the light's going to go on and I'm going to be happy all the time. Your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I so agree with what you're saying. I personally don't see enlightened as this thing on the mountaintop and that I'm striving to get there. To me, and I'm agreeing with you, I believe it's a moment by moment thing. And I can be incredibly enlightened in the midst of sorrow and such grief or illness. One of my dear friends is seriously ill with cancer right now, and she has had more enlightened moments during these months of dealing with the cancer than she did when she was on the mountaintop, so to me it's a state of mind. Really, enlightened is a state of mind, and it's you can be there whenever and I don't believe you need another person to take you there. I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry that your wife didn't find that enlightened place within herself.
Yeah, me too. I miss her. I miss her
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm sorry.
Um, I'm going to start reading comments, and please definitely everybody on Facebook while you're chatting or sharing. I'm going to always go onto Facebook and see what's happening there. But in our Zoom room, Jean writes, enlightenment, per definition, is the condition or quality of bringing light to something, a subject, a person, etc. Picking up a book, looking at a tree, nature, talking to anyone, etc. Therefore, I am always enlightened. A recipe book will and does enlighten us about food. Let's keep things simple. Simplicity is powerful. Beautiful, Jean. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. And Maggie asked to name an author of the book on aging. It's called Age Wave. My memory is his name was Ken Dykewald, something like that. Ken, I think it was Dykewald. But if you just go for eighth wave, you'll find it. And well, and Diane in on our Facebook room writes, "Enlightenment happens in moments. Nothing lasts forever. Only mortal death does. Although some believe in reincarnation of the body." Um, so there you have it. Thank you for your comments. I'd love to hear more comments. And I'm imagining we're going to bring a few people into the Zoom room, even maybe Fanny, maybe Jay. So if people want to come in and share, let me know. Ruth, tell us a little bit about if someone is a light worker and wanting to get themselves out there, how do they apply to you? How do they collaborate with you?
They can just reach out to me at Open Clinic, openclinic1@outlook.com. And that's my personal email. And we would just have conversation. What Enlightened World Network does is it provides lightworkers a place to create a platform. And that platform might be writing articles, it could be having podcasts, it could be writing a book, it could be running a class. And so there's a lot of conversation back and forth about what do you really want to be bringing into the world and how can we support you to do that. And so we currently have our website is enlightenedworld.online, and we have folks' articles up. Some people do advertising there. They might advertise a course or services that they provide. And Enlightened World Network, we're on YouTube. We've got about 2,000 plus videos up on there. And we've got 3 Facebook pages. And each one of them has a little bit of a different focus. But folks come on and do live podcasts on those Facebook pages. And then daily, we've got a live guided meditation. We did it every day last year. We're doing it every day this year. So folks can just come on and spend time every day having a guided meditation, just go inward, go upward, and just a little bit of a different perspective for the day.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm actually pulling up, my computer's going a little bit slow today, but I'm bringing up your Enlightened World online right now. So you can just scroll and take a little look at it. There it is. Um, and featured worker, Debbie Goldberg. There's Reiki classes with Karuna. And of course, people can subscribe here. Um, and so, yeah, you've got quite a bit. And yesterday, when we had you on Saturday Night Live, I pulled up the program schedule, which I'm going to do right now. And yeah, you've got a lot going on. How much of this is pre-recorded and how much of it is live?
I would say 95% of it's live.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And
look,
it's all
wow.
video. Yeah, it's all video. Archangel Michael had told me at one point that we were done doing MP3s, that everything should be video from now on. And so we did, we switched, and now we're being asked to start converting some of these things to MP3 and putting them out on Google Play and what else. So we'll be doing that this year.
I'm grateful to know that Archangel Michael is tech savvy.
He is. He
I love that. I
it,
love that.
yeah, it's the funniest thing I think I've ever thought. Yeah.
So I'm just looking at all these things. A lot of Course in Miracles work, which is wonderful. We love Course in Miracles.
There's something every day on A Course in Miracles by
That
Tomas Tarza.
we've got angel speakers, of course, the awareness meditations, hatha yoga,
Mhm.
soul food book club, nature's alchemy, practicing happiness yoga with Yvonne. Really, really fun stuff. Soulful living, sound healing, enlightened coffee time, Monday miracles. Wow.
We've got 2 cooking shows. Yeah, it's fun. It's about walking in spirit. It's about being connected to your own divinity, knowing yourself as a divine being. It's about being in body as a divine being living in the 3D. It's about connecting with the earth. I mean, we're really branching out, and just in May, we're opening up a 4th channel, which is going to be in French. So we've got a show that's English and Spanish combined. We've got somebody who wants to do a channel on Italy, Italian light workers sharing their shows. The French one is going to be French-speaking light workers sharing there. So we're really branching out. I'm excited about that.
That is exciting. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Pleasure.
Do you have a staff, a team? How does this all work from a financial model?
So financial model is coming together. It is being it's being funded by me for the most part at this point. There are some things where there's money coming in. I have two tech people that I work with. Um, the graphics are created by me. I'm actually, I'd say probably 85% of Enlightened World Network as far as creating the graphics, working with each host, putting together their shows, helping to get them trained with Zoom and Restream so they can go on live. But I do have two great people supporting with the tech. So, so thankful for them.
Great, beautiful, beautiful. By the way, Fanny, I see you're in the Zoom room. So if you want to come on, let me know if you're interested in coming on. Even if you're interested in coming on and spontaneously doing a song, that might be really, really fun. Yes, Fanny says she could strum her harp for us today. So I am going to promote you to a panelist, Fanny. That'll be fun. Harp is always so beautiful. I always love the harp. Um, Ruth, what would you like to see more of on your network? Like, if you could, snap your fingers, what would you like to have more of taking place?
Enlightened World Network is all about transformation. It's about transformation for the hosts. The hosts are the ones that are running the shows, and it's about transformation for the ones that are viewing it. So for me, well, there's a couple things. One, I would just love to see more and more transformation because I think that's what we're all here for. I think we're all here to learn in one way, shape, or form. But the other piece is I'm really being called to support folks that are transitioning, folks that are dealing with life threatening illnesses and getting ready to transition. And so I know we're going to be bringing in that kind of support for folks as well. So I guess that's what I'd like to see. More and more folks really stepping into their role of being a light worker, being fully embodied in their body and putting themselves out there for other folks and supporting those that are transitioning on. I think those two things.
Beautiful. And and is there a particular demographic group? Do you find that it's mostly baby boomers, women, older, white? What are some of the demographics you're finding? And I'm so glad Fanny and her harp are there. So we'll get to go to Fanny and the harp in a minute.
Right. We tend to have 40 to 60-year-old women.
Mhm.
We do have a global reach. We've got folks all over the globe that are hosts and viewers. Um, but I would say, yeah, mostly 40 to 60-year-old women.
Yeah. Actually, it's very similar to our demographic group for Saturday Night Live. The Facebook Insights is showing us it's 78% women, 22% men, 45 and up is primary. We're really doing our best to reach the millennials. I do a show on Friday nights with my friend Trish, who's a millennial. So that show we do better in terms of a more diverse, and I'm really wanting to be more diverse in terms of not all being white. You
Yes,
know,
agreed.
we've done quite a few Black Lives Matter shows and all that. I am so happy that Fanny is with us. Hi, Fanny.
Hi, beautiful. So nice to be with you and hear this great wisdom. All I can add to this light, to your love, to your beauty is a strum of the harp, because like you say, we all need to step up to our true passion, to our deepest loving heart, and to our joy. And I've been working on this for a long time, so I want to strum my harp for you today. It's
Wonderful.
totally improv, so it might totally be out of tune. I have no idea, but sometimes the out of tune is perfect. The out of tune, like the children, the out of tune, but they are in tune with the universe. So here I am.
A reminder is like the Huichol Indians, when they make their pottery or anything, they
Yes,
always make sure there's a flaw. There's a
ex-
crack in the pottery, there's a flaw to remind us that we all have a flaw. And as Rumi said, our flaw or our wound is what brings the light in. So, what I'm going to suggest, taking kind of a combination here, as she plays the harp, let's be silent and let's listen to the harp and let's tune in, no pun intended, to what what is my gift here on this planet, or my gift as a light worker, and what can I do? What inspiration comes through to me right now of how I can bring my gifts more fully to the world? How does that sound?
beautiful. Thank you.
Such a beautiful Sunday to be with you in this light, in this love.
Oh, what a delight. Thank you so much. I tell you, between Ruth's beautiful meditation and your heart, I'm really having trouble even putting words together right now. Just beautiful. Thank you. What did you experience, Ruth?
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. I really sat in and just sort of meditated with that. And your question, Scott, of what can we do to really put ourselves out there? What came to me was truly walking in alignment with myself and sharing kindness just
Mm.
across the board, being that kind person in every phase of my life. And then also just slowing down, the gift of time. And Fanny, you really let me do that. So thank you for that gift this morning. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I would love to hear from any of our people in the Zoom room or on Facebook. What came up for you? I want our remaining 15 minutes to be interactive. So how can you show up more? And I love more in your light work, not more as a human being, more as a light worker. Yeah, just the two things that I heard Ruth say, kindness and slowing down.
Mhm.
How about you, Fanny? What comes up for you when you think about how you can express yourself more fully or play your role in this world even more fully?
Oh, what makes me the happiest is when I am able to share my gifts. And my gifts is the music, is the garden. And I know I feel the light when I am in the garden. I am my ultimate. And I could really go anytime I feel that I'm complete in this world, anytime.
Oh,
Because I truly found my passion for many years now. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm learning to be uh, more gentle, I think, in my life, because I've always been my character, my energy is very strong as a being because I've been a children's entertainer for a long, long time. So I'm just in my energy as a Gemini, as a star people. I was a woman in this world. I've been strong, but I'm learning to be more gentle and humble and listening and just being. Finally, this thing that's happening in the world made me more mellow and more into being present with just the moment, really being present here, and the birds, and just be in this magical place, and just tuning in, just being in our gifts, because that is the most important, is to find our enlightenment so we have an easy way back to the light. And I am learning to ease my way into the light.
Beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful. Thank you. Uh, Diane writes, in terms of what came up for her while listening to your beautiful music, she writes, to be in the moment, slow down reactions, and to appreciate the now.
Yes.
So very similar to what came up for Ruth. By the way, Fanny, in terms of you leaving your body, you have to wait until at least May 30th because we have you scheduled to perform on Saturday Night Live on May 29th. So I just want to acknowledge that, you got to wait a little while longer, please.
It's all in God's hands, really, because I'm here to, there's so much light and I'm still of service. But like I say, anytime I'm totally, my life is so beautiful. I'm so honored to live every day here on this light, but I have so much to share, so much to give, and so much light. And the world needs our music. The world needs us. And thank you for being there, Scott, and the tribe, and all of you beautiful shining light. I'm sharing you to the most that I can, but there's the other side, the yin and the yang, and the yin and the yang. There's lots of darkness, and I'm surprised to find such darkness so close by. And I'm learning to stay in my light, in my joy, and just be the best I can be, sharing this light within me.
Thank you. I guess I'll speak to that for a moment. There is, it's important to remember we live on a planet of polarity. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Masculine, feminine, up, down, right, wrong. And the molecular structure, the actual atomic structure of this planet is completely based on polarity, right? The positive and negative atoms and electrons and, all shooting around creating this illusion that we're all living in. And often, probably for me, one of the most tragic human mistakes has been the idea that when we are having a spiritual experience, that our particular interpretation of that spiritual experience is somehow better or lighter than someone who's having a different interpretation of life. And right now, our country is so polarized. The polarization is so extreme. Bush versus Trump, masks or no masks, vaccine versus anti-vaccine. And as a relationship coach, I have seen the heartbreak of couples and families really fighting with each other. Sometimes people who loved each other becoming vicious with each other because they're so adamant in their belief about these things that I just mentioned. And I just want to encourage all of us to remember a couple of things. True evolution is moving beyond right, wrong, good, bad. And we can change the world most effectively by focusing on ourselves, changing ourselves. The truth is, none of us know the truth about a lot of these things. We don't know what really goes on in Washington, D.C. I don't know if taking the vaccine is a really good thing, or if now there's a little tiny miniature Bill Gates in a little tiny submarine zipping around my body. I don't know, right? I mean, I'm being facetious about that, but there are people who believe interesting things. And let's not go nuts fighting for belief systems. What we can do is become tolerant. Like Ruth said, kindness, kindness. So someone has a really different idea about Donald Trump or vaccinations or masks or the world order or any of that stuff. Don't fight with them about it. Or if you have strong ideas, okay. But what do these strong ideas about the external world inform us about our archetypal way of seeing the world? Because that's actually, if we always just keep bringing it back, wow, why do I choose to believe in this fear based thought? Why do I choose to believe that authority is not to be trusted? Now, again, I'm not challenging that. I, I grew up in a generation question authority. Questioning authority is a good thing. But when we have a really strong, when we find ourselves fighting for a belief system, fighting with someone we actually want to have a good relationship with over a belief system, stop it. Stop the fighting. Slow down and come back. Why do I believe that? Why is that so important to me? Why does that belief in vaccination or not getting vaccinated, and wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, why do I have such a strong trigger in that? That bring up for me? What's my previous life experiences, my veils of past pain, my hurts, my disillusionments, my fears? How are those things, which are all perfectly human, and we all have hurts and pain and disillusionments and fear. We all have those things. They're not bad. They're part of the human experience. But how is that shaping the way that I'm choosing to see something? And I'll finish this thought with one last thing, which is I'm a big fan of Albert Einstein, who is generally regarded as one of the most intelligent beings that we've had on the planet in a while. And he's all about curiosity. He's all about imagination. If you read his quotes, if you read what he has to say, I'm paraphrasing, but he says the true measure of intelligence is how quickly we can change our beliefs. Remain like a child, be curious, open up the imagination. So when there's something you see that goes against your belief, be curious. Wow, why does Ruth believe this? Why does Scott believe that? Wow, why is she doing that? Let's be curious and kind and childlike wonder. When we live in childlike wonder, that's when we create heaven on earth. So I don't know, I was going to go off on that little spiel, but what Fanny was saying just kind of inspired it. So I would love to, I'll take a look and see. Christy Michaels, hi, Christy writes, polarization is the problem. Absolutely, Christy. Thanks for writing that. Ruth, what comes up for you in this moment?
What if everybody's right? Really, there is such polarization, and it's really kind of fascinating to sit back and watch it and not pick either side. But people believe so strongly what they believe. It's almost like people are living in different dimensions rather than being here in one realm. But really, what if everybody is right?
Beautiful. Absolutely. It's a beautiful way of looking at it because, ultimately it's a dream world. All of it's real and none of it's real.
Right.
It's this incredible dream within a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. Um, on and Daryl channels a being named Bashar. Very popular. He's been doing it for a long, long time. And he has a very large fan base and he's very wise. And he said that our timelines, we think we're in a consistent timeline, but the timelines are constantly changing with every thought. Every person's thought automatically changes the timeline in some way. It's the butterfly's wings in Africa impact the migration of the birds in North America, kind of thing. And so you're right. Everybody's right in that moment,
Right.
right? In that moment. And so why is it that all of our great teachers teach compassion? Every one of them, the ones that last, right? The ones that last as beloved teachers always teach compassion. And so that's why it's very important for us to live our lives in compassion. Mhm. Well, our hour is almost up. Um, Fanny, how do people get a hold of you? They listen to your harp. They have children. They want uh, to, something from you. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, you could just go on on my website, starchild.ca, and send me an email, a contact from there, and see all the array of loving light we can share. Vigari and I, we do workshop, play shop, super duper shop, design shop. We do it all in the name of the of light, really super light. So we're here to bring love, to bring light, to share and connect with us. And we've started to do a home concert in our gardens now. So we are outside. I created even a dance floor outside in the garden, because I'm going to do mostly medicinal garden this year. And I planted all my purple beans to make magic happen.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. And you want to see my, look at my dance floor. Can you
Oh
see?
my gosh, look at that. Yeah. You've got whole, that's
So
right.
and
And
this is the stage here. You can see the
I
stage.
love it. And you're in Fairfax?
No, we're in Canada, baby. We
You're
are
in
in
Canada. That's right. That's right. That's right.
we're in the Vancouver. We're just really close to the border. See,
Oh
you
my
can actually see the border back here. That's the ocean. So we're like 5 minutes from 20 minutes from Bellingham, and then 5 minutes from the border right here, US Canada. We see
oh,
US Canada from here. So we can do events here, I think, but we are on our own. And I trust and I know that just being ourselves and being on the dance floor yesterday for Vigari's birthday, we are the show, the stage is our stage wherever we are.
yeah.
The trees, this is our stage now. It's not to be on a stage anymore. It's to be present in the stage of life, and to love and to share our light. To be in the present moment is the greatest stage.
No, thank you, Fanny. You're absolutely right. And if you do want to reach Fanny, here's her website. It's starchild.ca, and her phone number is right there, so you can contact her if you felt so inspired. And I want to acknowledge that a couple of people did write. Jean Bugler, thank you, Jean, writes, "We live in a universe of dichotomies, right, wrong, etc. We need to do the fancy footwork of making everybody right, because they are," going along with what Ruth was saying. They are. Thank you. And Jay Mayer wants to come to Canada to be with you, Fanny. So
Oh, anytime, let's dance, baby. Like there's no tomorrow.
wonderful. And a reminder for those of you, since we were, really focusing on the Enlightened World Network, again, I'm going to take us to that webpage. So the way to reach Ruth, you can reach her on her email address. Maybe Ruth put it in the chat box, and I'll also put it on Facebook. And again, go to enlightenedworld.online. Enlightenedworld.online. And there's a lot of angelic gems, meditations, daily shows, 24-hour prayer, all these different things going on her website. So definitely do that. And on my end, just a reminder that all the shows that I do and all the shows that my love coaches do can be found on Love Coach Academy page on Facebook. You go to the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook, and what's wonderful is if you go there and you click videos, you can see what's coming up. We've got Universal Heart Wisdom tomorrow night. And then here's all of our past live videos, our after show from last night, Saturday Night Live, my Straight Talk show, Paul Sterling, Fantuzzi concert we did recently. So these are all available. Just go to the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook. It's a public page. Click videos, and you can find all the wonderful things that we've been doing. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ruth. Wonderful to get to know you. Looking forward to a lot of interaction in the future. Fanny, you're going to be playing with your band on our show, Making Contact with our galactic family on May 29th. And hopefully we'll see all of you on our upcoming shows. And remember, we can make any day, any moment sacred just by choosing to see the divine in all. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.